More from day 2 coming up. Welcome to ESPN's continuing coverage of the Little League World Series presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Tonight from Williamsport, it is Bowling Green, Kentucky, back for a second straight year to take on the boys from San Antonio, Texas. Beautiful images as the fans await the final game here from day number 2. Quick look at the league rules here. Of course, all kids 10 to 13 years of age. Games are 6 innings in length unless one team has a 10-run lead. After 4 innings, the field 2/3 the size of the big league fields. And it is Little League. That means everyone plays. Hello again. Very good to see you again. Welcome back to South Williamsport, Pennsylvania, where day number 2 can be headlined with a couple of huge surprises. In fact, it was a pair of historical superpowers going down today. First, it was Japan. 4 titles in the last 6 years, and the defending champs lost in large part because of the strong right arm and the big bat of Loreto Sinsculchi. He struck out 13, and then how about the home run by J.T. Garcia as his mom, Jen, who's battling cancer, was being interviewed by our own Jamie Sire. And in the third game, South Korea leading Curacao 2-0. That one, of course, still going on. The conclusion over on ESPN News. But game 4 of day 2 is next. Bowling Green, Kentucky against San Antonio, Texas. Carl Ravitch, John Kruk, and Jessica Mendoza have the call. Carl?
All right, Jay, thanks. And this should be a real good one as you take a look at the Little League World Series double elimination brackets. Mexico has lost. Look at the teams that have lost already. Japan, Italy loses. We've seen teams from California lose. A great game last night here on this field. Bend, Oregon loses 3-2 as Tennessee with a walk-off victory. And tonight, team from McAllister, Texas, offense galore. And a team that's been here last year and has 3 players coming back this year. Should be great. The Great Lakes region represented by Bowling Green, Kentucky. What a day. I mean, I know you're here for 2 days. You've seen just about everything. Everything.
And, Jay just mentioned it from, interviews to a mom. The player hits a home run. Defensive plays that look like big league caliber. It's been impressive.
Great web gems. All right, John and Jess, tonight's game, let's start with the team from Bowling Green, Kentucky. The fact that we've done World Series, College World Series. You know how hard it is to get here? How about twice?
Twice. And honestly, that's exactly why I feel like having that experience is why Bowling Green is back. They have 3 kids that were on last year's team that made it to Williamsport. Carson Myers, Spencer Newman, and Devin Obie. But if you were to pick one that's really used that experience, Devin Obie, his teammates call him the game changer. He'll be on the mound tonight, but it's what he can do at the plate. Coaches bat him leadoff because they say he can absolutely demoralize a team from the very start. So, Carl, like you mentioned, rare to have 3 kids from last year to be able to return, get their team back.
Yeah, and not only back for the second year in a row, they're back like for the second time this week. With more on that, here's James.
Yeah, Carl, it has been quite the week in Williamsport already for this Kentucky team. They haven't even played a World Series game yet. It all started on Saturday in the Great Lakes Regional when their rain delay made them only play 1 inning. And then on Sunday, the forecast was not much better. So they said, you know what, we're going to put both teams on buses, send them to Williamsport, and they played that regional final on Monday. And they did beat Michigan 7-2 to advance to the World Series. First time a regional has been relocated here. Now, I spoke to one of the coaches who said, it's both a benefit and a disadvantage. The benefit, of course, being the kids who were not here last year got to get acclimated to the field, their surroundings. The disadvantage is Isaiah Head cannot pitch today, but they do feel good about Devin Obie on the mound.
All right, and they should. And interesting, if in fact they lose this game, their best pitcher, she just mentioned Isaiah Head. How about that guy going up against a California team that lost today in an elimination game? But that's getting way ahead of ourselves. Texas wearing the bright orange tonight. They can put some runs up.
I watched them play in the regional finals. I mean, these kids can swing the bat, Carl. In their regional championship game, they had 5 innings of extra base hit in 5 innings, all at 5 different players. But they're led by Rylan Quinones. Look what he did in the regional: 7 for 14, 1 homer, 7 RBIs. And when you watch these kids swing the bat, they're not looking to try to hit a single the other way, Carl. They look to go and mash.
You mean that guy right there? He looks like he's ready to hit home runs.
He's showing the guns off.
He is showing the guns. A gun show and the sun show when we come back to Williamsport.
Little League World Series is presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes cereal. They are great, and in part by the Odyssey from Honda, official vehicle of Little League. And Sherwin-Williams. Make the most of your color with the very best paint.
What a night in South Williamsport, Pennsylvania. The sun dips behind the clouds. And you got teams from Bowling Green, Kentucky and San Antonio, Texas. That's the area the McAllister Little League call home. We're at Lomity Stadium, and Jamie Sawyer, John Kruk, Jess Mendoza, I'm Carl Ravitch. You take a look at the map, and it's broken down into 8 different regions. The Great Lakes has Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky. Michigan was the team that came here and lost. Ohio and Wisconsin, the other 2. Let's take a look at today's lineup, brought to you by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
My name is Patrick Forbes, and my favorite baseball player is Jose Altuve.
Hey, my name is John Guthrie, and my favorite player is Mike Moustakas.
Hi, my name is Tate Haynes, and my favorite player is Todd Frazier.
Hi, my name is Isaiah Head, and my favorite baseball player is Matt Carpenter.
My name is Jackson Moore, and my favorite baseball player is Brandon Phillips.
My name is Davis Moran, and my favorite player is Mike Trout.
Hi, my name is Carson Myers, and my favorite baseball player is Madison Bumgarner.
Hi, my name is Spencer Newman, and my favorite player is Chris Bryant.
My name is Turner Nottmeyer, and my favorite baseball player is Matt Carpenter.
My name is Devin Obie, and my favorite player is Giancarlo Stanton.
My name is Kyle Snyder, and my favorite player is Yadier Molina.
Hi, my name is Trent Warden, and my favorite baseball player is Freddie Freeman.
My name is Mason Williams, and my favorite baseball player is David Ortiz.
My name is Drew Wolfram, and my favorite baseball player is Brandon Phillips.
David Ortiz, home run tonight for the Red Sox early. Baseball tonight will follow us here. You're looking at Rick Kelly, who's the manager. 37 years as a Little League coach. He was the manager last year. He does not have a son on the team, and he owns a restaurant called the Buckhead Cafe. They love to send this guy up first, Devin Obie, who's the pitcher. And he's sort of one of those guys that can disrupt in a big way, and it's a challenge for the lefty, Britton Moore.
Well, watching Britton Moore warm up for this game, Carl, he's your typical lefty. Tall, lanky, hat kind of turns sideways sometimes, throws off to the side a little bit.
A lot of lefties can locate, too. And that pitch was well located. Obie is the pitcher tonight. He's 4 for 9 at the regionals with a home run and 3 doubles.
Looked like the first changeup I think we've ever seen. Unless it was a bad breaking ball.
That one definitely looked like a changeup that just didn't get there.
Obie definitely has got a presence in the batter's box, his size first of all, but coaches talk about they want him at the top, even though he's a power kid.
5'11", Jess, 173. Nice pitch.
Hey,
wow.
Aren't most 12, 13-year-old
5'11", 173. Yeah. Not where I grew up. Called on the corner, strike 3, and a good start for Britton Moore as Obi goes back to the bench.
Oh, Carl, it's a breaking ball by Moore, but it's not like your big, across the, throw it to the back foot of the right-handed hitters. That was a backdoor breaking ball with not a lot of break on it, but great location.
And say hello to Newman, Spencer Newman. Ball high. Second baseman for the team from Great Lakes.
Not having any problems keeping the ball down in the zone.
You see what Newman just did there from pitch to pitch. I love it. Kind of started to crowd the plate a little bit more. We've seen Britton consistently go away to the first two batters. He took his hack.
What is it about lefties? The whole crafty thing. It's almost like if you're a baseball pitcher and you're a lefty, that's what you do.
Just ended on what is it about lefties, and I think you
stop.
Retire.
Yes. I mean, you got a lefty to your right and a lefty to your left in our researcher, Mike over here. So you're surrounded.
I didn't say it was bad. I just said it was a question.
And she's just confused because she hit left-handed. And she's just a confused lefty or a confused righty that wants to be a lefty.
Ooh, 3-2 misses. You saw Britton Moore bounce up and down on the mound. Strikeout and a walk, and already 11 pitches deep into his night.
I like that at bat by Newman. After he chased a couple pitches in the dirt, able to get the walk.
Left fielder John Guthrie, quite a story. Guthrie was experiencing some leg pains during All-Star practice, and it was initially diagnosed with a broken growth plate. And he was crushed. He's like, wait, that's like 6 to 8 weeks. An MRI the next day revealed it was a ligament strain. Came off the bench in the state tournament and hit .455, and now he's the number 3 hitter.
And a very, very smart young man. You see who he wants to meet?
Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett.
Took something off it, and he rolls it to first and hit the base runner. Not sure if anybody saw it, but it appeared to kick off the base runner. It hit the first baseman's glove.
Yeah, but in that situation, it doesn't matter because it crossed an infielder first, so it can hit the runner if that's the case.
And he's got his hands on his head. He doesn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, see here, the first baseman, Flores King, goes after the ball, goes past him, and then it hits the runner.
Right.
So it's game on.
I just wasn't sure if it hit the runner or the glove, and it hit both.
Yeah.
So an error on the first baseman. Guthrie aboard. Newman at second for the cleanup hitter, Turner Notmeyer. Just foul, and not by much.
You see Notmeyer way ahead. Gets a good piece. A few feet foul.
Notmeyer has hit third or fourth for this Bowling Green Eastern Little League team. Plays all 3 outfield positions. Off the end of his bat, caught, and both runners back to the bag.
Good play right here by the first baseman, ranging. A lot of guys, first baseman, your initial reaction is wherever the ball is hit. If it's not right at you, go to the base. But Matthew Flores King went right for the ball to record that out. He can get out of this inning unscathed if he gets this one.
Lefty on lefty. Carson Myers bats now. First pitch in for a strike. Myers 2 for 7 during the regionals. He did hit a home run. This is a team that hit .347 in 3 games and hit 3 homers. This one is into center field. Around third is Newman. Throw home way high. Ball dead as it hit off the top part of the fence there. So the runners are at second and third, and it's 1-0 now in favor of Bowling Green.
I'm not sure. Why wouldn't the runner be able to score on that? If it's a dead ball, I'm assuming a dead ball would mean the same as a ball out of play. And if that's the case, the runner...
That's the discussion going on now.
On first base should be allowed to score. And there you see the base hit right there. And the center fielder, L.J. Brown, comes up firing and overshoots everyone. It looked like it hit up in the net area.
Yeah.
Apparently the ground rules are if it's a dead ball when it hits the net, it's different than a ball out of play.
Did it hit the camera well?
This will be a good angle to see where it hit. You would think, John, you throw that ball into the stands.
I'm not sure if it even hit the netting. I think it hit the
top of the fence.
The top of the padding and bounced straight up.
That one gets by, and maybe justice is served. Guthrie scores from third, and now up to third goes Myers. So they got 2, and that's sort of where you were suggesting in your world they should have been anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a dead ball, you would, the rule is a dead ball. It's 1 from the rubber, 2 from the field, and that ball was thrown from the field, obviously. And so the guy in first, since he already established second base before the center fielder released the ball, I think he should have got the score, and the hitter should have been able to go to third base.
Doing a great job. Doing a great job. Relax, okay? Y'all are doing a great job. This guy's a pretty good hitter. Hey, listen, hey, ball first. You're doing a really good job. Everything's gonna be fine, all right? They had that one hit that kind of, you jammed, you made a good pitch, okay? Hey, we got 2 outs. We're going to first, okay? Expect the baseball. Don't even worry about the guy at third, okay? You gotta be blocking everything, all right? Good job. Hey, you're doing good. You're fine. You're fine.
Only in the top of the first inning.
You think the coach for the Texas team had one of the kids ask him to hold his sunglasses?
I'm thinking that's why he
didn't have anywhere to put it, so he just put 2 pair up there.
I'm thinking that's the case. It is nighttime. We really don't need them.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Isaiah Head, the right fielder, bats now. This is the guy that's going to pitch the next game. That one is another bleeder. Oh, underneath the glove of the dive of Dominic Tellis. And a really good start for Kentucky. They're up 3-0.
Well, Carl just said in the open that the team from Texas could swing the bats, and it looks like they're going to have to because this team from Kentucky's coming out swinging them themselves.
And they haven't even squared up fully. I mean, Carson Myers, jam shot, but does a good job of finding the hole. And then now Isaiah Head off the end of the bat, just enough, even past the diving Tellis.
Mason Williams, the number 7 hitter, the third baseman. To your point, you kind of feel a little bit from Moore, who's thrown 21 pitches already. A couple of bleeders into shallow center field.
And that's a nice location. And he's located his pitchers exactly, and it was the 2 lefties, which, he beat, and that's what his coach said when he came out there. Hey, you're fine. So much positive, too.
Looked like he finally got that breaking ball just to the back foot of a right-handed hitter.
Another one, sort of a seeing eye single. Wow. On the infield, give Mason Williams a hit.
Well, Carl, when you're coaching kids, you tell them, you put the ball in play, anything can happen. And Jessica said it. They're not hitting the ball off the barrel of the bat, but they're hitting it in places where the players from Texas can't get to them.
And I like what Kentucky is doing, too. They're having conversations. You'll see them as they go back to the dugout. They're talking to each other. And one of the things they do is they're adjusting in the batter's box. And Williams on that last one, again, crowding a little bit because Moore's been thrown away, gets off the end, finds a hit.
Like 900 guys on base. His first base coach had to run and give all the gloves back that the kids on first were giving him. He had about 7 pair of gloves he had to give to the other coach.
No sunglasses.
No shades. Drew Wolfram will bat 25th pitch of the first inning from Britton Moore on the way. A lot of folks want to meet Michael Phelps right now after his performance at the Olympics. Look out, that one was hit pretty hard. Focused on the pitches because this team that loses tonight, right back at it again tomorrow. Pitching eligibility, and those are the required days of rest when you reach those thresholds. That one misses again. Isaiah Head gets a big lead out there at second base, but isn't going anywhere. Head through that Monday game here in Williamsport as they brought Michigan and Kentucky from their regional up here to play because of rain. So he's not eligible tonight, but will be in the next game. His numbers were crazy in the championship game. Threw 79 pitches and 68 were strikes. Think about that.
How many strikeouts? 16?
16. Britton Moore has been victimized by some bleeders, some hits that found holes, and he has now thrown 29 pitches. So just like that, you had a game plan coming in, and you're going to have to reconsider things as you look at the coaching staff over there from McAllister Park.
That's the beauty of contact in Little League. I mean, just the concept of putting the ball in play, and you've seen already what Kentucky's been able to do with not trying to hit the ball over the fence, but just put it in play against a pitcher that's locating well, at least for the first part of the lineup.
The number 9 hitter, Patrick Forbes. You always got to be ready, Jess, but it's not often the number 9 hitter gets to bat in the first inning. Takes a good hack at that.
I know, some of the offense I've seen even in the regionals Little League, it seems like teams score early.
The 9 hitter hits, the 1 hitter hits again.
3 at bats through 1.
That'll end this inning after 32 pitches. Britton Moore is out of it. We haven't seen Texas offense yet. They played 5 games in the regionals and scored 44 runs. They can score. (3-0) Kentucky, and they did leave the bases loaded. Now Texas will come to the plate, appearing Texas in its 23rd Little League World Series, 3rd most all-time among United States states. Obviously, you know where Texas is, that big orange SW, so you got Oklahoma, the likes of Louisiana, who they beat, Texas East and West, Mississippi, Arkansas, Colorado, and New Mexico. Here are the boys we'll see bat.
My name is Tim Arguello, and my favorite player is my grandpa.
Hi, my name is LJ Brown, and my favorite player is LeBron James.
I'm Ben Colton. My favorite player is David Ortiz.
My name is Blake Compton, and my favorite baseball player is David Ortiz.
My name is Jacob Coolbaugh. My favorite player is my dad, Mike Coolbaugh.
I'm Matthew Flores King, and my favorite player is Derek Jeter.
Hi, my name is Esteban Guillory. My favorite player is David Ortiz.
Hi, my name is Gibson Maldonado, and my favorite player is Dustin Pedroia.
My name is Orion Medina, and my favorite player is Ken Griffey Jr.
My name is Britton Moore, and my favorite player is Runet Odor.
Hi, I'm Rylan Quinones, and my favorite baseball player is Bryce Harper.
Hi, I'm Dominic Tellis, and my favorite player is Elvis Andrews.
My name is Brody Tyser, and my favorite player is Bryce Harper.
Hi, my name is Caden Wallace, and my favorite player is Dustin Pedroia.
All right, a shout out to a grandparent, and now you're looking at Michael Tellis. He's the manager, the third base coach as well, and the owner-operator of a baseball academy. His goal is to bring good baseball, like really good baseball, to San Antonio. So we got Julicio Martinez, Dominic Tellis, his mom, and that is, of course, who's going to lead things off. Got the big picture on the button. Proud mom and dad as Dominic will be the leadoff hitter, and in that introduction, you also heard from Jacob Kuba, who said his favorite player, of course, was his dad. We'll have much more on his dad. That is the Kuba, Mike, who passed away years ago after getting hit with a line drive as a first base coach. Devin Obie on the mound. First pitch looks good in there for a strike. Tellis, the shortstop, had a good regional, went 5 for 14 with a couple of doubles. But you talk about an over-the-top delivery.
Iron Mike.
Exactly.
Pitching from the stretch, too. Keeps it a little more compact.
Ripped into left field, and it is gone. What a start for Dominic Tellis. Think mom and dad like that?
I think all of West Texas likes that one.
Tellis, serious bat speed. He takes a pitch up in the zone, but watch him just bat, meet, ball, connect to it. So he watches it go over the fence, but that's a pitch up in the zone. He does a nice job with those hands, but it's that quick bat speed. He knew it. He started jogging right away. Dad, he's pumped.
That's call jumping with pride and joy.
Might be the first breath he's taken since his game started. I told you, watching them play in their regional final on television, they swing it. I mean, these kids let it fly.
Well, here's the pitcher, Britton Moore. He throws lefty, hits righty. And Obie, who threw that real hard, saw it leave a lot quicker. So now that plants a little seed in the pitch. At least the next time Tellis comes up. There you go. Now we've got the off-speed pitch there to B Money.
That's a nice little follow-up from a 12 hopper to the backstop. Comes back with that little off-speed. I see you, Devin Moore. Devin Obie, excuse me.
Good take. Saw Moore start to commit to it, and he backed off. To John's point, 297. They scored 8.8 runs a game, and they hit 4 home runs in that Southwest Regional, and they were tested in their regional. 2-2. There's a hit right through the 5.5 hole between the third baseman and the shortstop.
Attaboy.
2 hitters, 2 hits. Take a look at that home run swing. That's mom and then dad with the high five or elbow smash. We haven't seen the best hitter yet. He's now up. This is Relon Quinones.
Yeah, we talked about the team from Kentucky, you know, not squaring any balls up. So far, 2 hitters for the team from Texas. 2 balls hit off the barrel of the bat.
Well, Crucky, you mentioned watching them in the finals, but I mean, they persevered through some struggles. Their first 3 games of that regional, they only had 3 hits a game with 7 strikeouts a game.
Good pitch there.
They're making up for it.
But it was those last 2, and you caught one of them, 13 hits a game with only 4 Ks, so they figured it out quickly.
Quinones 7 for 14 at the regional. Ooh.
When you see these swings these kids are taking.
Balance, too.
Yeah, it's not like I'm going to try to shoot one in the hole between first and second. Maybe we get a first and third. He's trying to drive not only the runner on first in, he's trying to drive himself in, too.
That one's by the catcher. Quinones, with first base occupied, is going to head to the bench. He strikes out, but able to go down to second is Britton Moore.
I think that you're going to see Devin Obie start going more to the breaking ball. They seem to be pretty dialed into the old heater right now. And if you're the kids from Texas, you got to make him throw that curveball for strikes before you start swinging.
Matthew Flores King is the first baseman. First pitch fastball registers 71 miles an hour, the Major League Baseball equivalent, 92 from 60 feet 6 inches away. The mound here 46 feet away, and the base path 60 feet in length.
How about Matthew Flores King regional? 2 for 5, 5 RBIs. Getting your money's worth.
He knew that was a good one. You can see him shaking his head. Yep.
I think this team from Texas better get used to seeing that breaking ball.
1-2. He went to the fastball and he gets a strikeout, and that is 2 down.
And this is smart pitching for Devin Obie. You're getting ahead with the breaking ball, and then it's basically pitching backwards. A lot of guys, especially in Little League, we see fastball, curveball to try to strike him out. He's going the opposite.
Nice block. Wolf from behind the plate.
Blake Compton's nickname is Big Country. It came from the fact that his family moved from a town that was about 5,000 in population to where they are now, which is significantly bigger. Another country music fan, John, likes the tune Hunting and Fishing.
I can understand that.
Tonight he's watching. He's 3-0.
He's got a homer in the regionals, too. I'm kind of surprised he didn't turn him loose there, 3-0.
Sneaking a peek at the catcher.
Little high, good eye. And both pitchers throwing a lot of pitches in the first inning.
I think we've established that probably not going to see a complete game here.
From either. Now, last night we almost had 2 in the same game. And remember, with Isaiah Head unavailable, their best pitcher, really we're hoping Obie could give him some length
You're
here.
doing a great job. We're now in the bottom of the lineup, just those strikes. We've gone through the heart of it, so just those strikes right here. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. Let's go. Guys, you got to force any bag, force anywhere.
And the point's well taken. We are now at the number 6 hitter. The problem is the number 6 hitter is 4 for 7, hit .571 at the regionals with a homer and a double.
Yeah.
So it's not,
you just don't want to just toss one over the center of the plate here to get ahead.
Not your down in the order kind of hitter. Good pitch for a fastball. Ahead 0-1. L.J. Brown, 5'1", 94 pounds.
What's amazing about baseball is you can have a kid that's 90 pounds, and like we saw with Kentucky and their leadoff batter, 170.
Little mismatch.
Back up the middle off the glove. Everybody's going to be safe, and a nice try by Forbes to throw behind the runner, but Moore was not caught off the base, and they're loaded. L.J. Brown, whose dad's the retired NBA player Devin Brown, on board.
Yeah, great play by Obi right there just to get his glove on. If not, that ball's into center field, and we have a 3-2 game.
Yep. So Caden Wallace was scheduled to hit, but pinch hitter Brody Tyser's coming up. Tyser coming off a huge regional. He had 4 hits and 9 at-bats with a homer and 2 doubles. So this is the perfect spot to bring Brody Tyser off the bench with the bases loaded. He's behind 0-2. 2 good pitches. Won't chase that.
Look at this alignment in the outfield, Jeff.
Wow.
Center. If he pulls one down the line, he's going to run for a long,
Just
long
hit
time.
it straight to center.
He went. That's strike 3. Tyser is out, and they'll leave the bases loaded. So we've got something cooking here with the offenses. And the pitchers, 62 pitches in an inning that lasted 31 minutes. It's not raining, there's no lightner, but there was some thunder from Dominic Tellis with that home run swing. 3-1 after 1.
League World Series with the brand new sound. We started up, we never let it stop, keep it going. Yeah, you know how we do it. Summer forever. It's the sunshine shining down on your face. It's the good times that never go away. So come on, there's nothing better. I want summer forever.
Had a walk-off here last night. Day 1 was outstanding. Day 2 has been even better. You see the kids from Italy coming in as they're going to watch the game unfold tonight here at Lombardy. And they missed a lot of noise. 3-1 is our score as we take a look at our fresh take from Williamsport, brought to you by Subway. 2 big upsets today. Canada knocks off Japan. The only other time they beat them was back in 1998. Iowa shocked California. They won that game 5-1. JT Garcia hit a big home run, and South Korea topped Curacao. A game just wrapped up 3-0, and they stay perfect. The thing about South Korea is they don't get here all the time. When they do, they don't lose. They're 12-0 all time, and certainly you've got to glean from the Japan loss that there's a vulnerability there, and there's a vulnerability on the U.S. side with California losing. So we're starting all over again in a 3-1 game with the top of the order, Devin Obi, who struck out his first time up.
See Blake Compton, the catcher, try to set up inside on that last pitch to get in to these right-handed batters.
Obi with a big swing at it. Moore was one of 7 pitchers that were used by McAllister Park in the regionals. He threw the most innings. Dominic Tellis, who hit that home run, he threw 8 innings. And then there were 5 other guys that threw between 4 and 2/3 of an inning.
Had some nice late action on it, Britton Moore.
Like a cutter.
Seriously. You know, watching Britton Moore too. He's got an idea of what he wants to throw, because I've seen Blake Compton try to throw down some signs, and Moore just goes right into what he's going to pitch. I'm done. Here it comes.
Another full count, meaning more pitches and a walk. Spencer Newman comes to the plate, and we send it down to Jamie Sire.
Yeah, Carl, last year as an 11-year-old, you know, it wasn't a sure thing that Spencer Newman would even make this team. So his dad said, you know, why don't you go out for the 11-year-old team instead? He said, no, I want 2 chances to go to Williamsport, and I know we will go twice. His mom's like, okay, you know, you'd be happy to just go once, but he was adamant they were going to go twice. He made the team, went last year, and now he's back.
Now he's back. Maybe that was more of the projecting by the parents. Like, well, yeah, 1 trip is good.
Yeah.
We're okay with that.
Yeah.
Want to go twice? Ooh.
Might lose my job, but
that means
hey.
we got to go twice. It's just an odd set of circumstances where the rain suspended the championship game, and they actually decided to move it all the way here to Williamsport versus, say, an hour away. It's a nice gesture because it guaranteed that both Michigan and Kentucky would get a chance to play here. Didn't miss by much.
And you got to think about the kids. I mean, you know, Jamie reported earlier, a 10-hour bus ride. That's heaven for a 12, 11-year-old. Are you kidding me? I mean, 10 hours with your teammates, your buddies.
No parents.
Music, laughing, silliness.
You don't think they were sitting there going over the scouting report?
All they were talking was baseball, I'm sure.
I tell you.
Or reading, prepping for the school year.
Anytime I was that age and I could do something away from my parents, I was going and enjoying it.
You know who else enjoyed that? Your parents.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, without question.
We haven't seen this yet, but 43 pitches in the second inning, nearly half, in fact, over half of his 85 had been used. We'll see who the advantage goes to with no Isaiah Head available for that team from Kentucky. How deep their pitching is. Another 3-2 pitch. Back up the middle. That's good for a hit. Newman moves Obi up a base. He's reached base twice with a walk and a single.
If you want to define just a good piece of hitting, I mean, Spencer Newman, I just love what he does here. He just pitches away, he protects, he gets his barrel there. He doesn't even follow through completely. Watch him just get to contact, and with these bats, it's a base hit in the center field.
It's a right-handed Chase Utley right there.
See, Chase last night actually threw his bat twice to try to hit the ball.
Second one didn't fare well for him.
Hey, what's the pitcher's best? You're fine. What's the pitcher's best friend? Double play. Well, let's make one for B, okay? Expect a baseball. Okay, we can line them off at second. Riley comes to you, you can go 3-2 or 3-1. Okay, Britt goes to you, you can go 3, whatever's easier, whatever it takes you. Okay, let's get one for sure. Hey, look to turn to double play. All right, all right. Y'all are doing a great job. Keep throwing strikes. Okay.
They bunt.
Bunt 3, right? Bunt 3. You're holding. All right.
Kind of like the message, which is to get your mind off of really kind of what's going on with the pitch count and all that stuff, and let's just turn 2.
It's a positive.
Yeah.
And even the question, Quinones getting in there on a bunt, where do I go? They're listening.
All right, here's a lefty. Guthrie reached on an error his first time up. Wild swing there. It gets away. Obi to third. Throw in the dirt. Here he comes.
Right there.
He scores, and moving up to third is Newman. So aggressive base running by Devin Obi. 4-1 Kentucky.
And not only great base runner by Devin Obi, but you know, a lot of times when you're on first base, and that's a ball that you would like your third baseman to try to get in front of and block instead of trying to glove and tag. But a lot of times on a play like that, the runner on first has a tough read. Sometimes they'll stay, but Newman was off with the, as soon as he saw Obi take off. He was off with him, and now he's on third base too.
In the dirt and a block. So we discovered that he really idolizes Warren Buffett. John Guthrie at the plate apparently invests in stocks through E-Trade. And his teachers get mad at him because he's always checking the stock market.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got Nike, Central Garden and Pet, Under Armour, JetBlue.
Nike and Under Armour.
Yeah.
Covering all his bases.
Got them all covered.
Wow, that's... My goodness.
He's on track to make allegedly, a 500% return on his investment this year. He's invested $75 and apparently he's made $500.
Jamie, you got all that for the post game?
When I was that age, I couldn't didn't know what, if I paid 75 cents for something, I didn't know what the change of $1 would be. And this kid's invested.
500% return.
He's invested in making a lot of coin for a 13-year-old.
We might have to go meet with him, Carl.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
All right, in at the corners, first and third. Turner, Notmeyer, as Moore's thrown 50 pitches. Right field, if it's caught, we'll have a tag. No catch.
Smart idea, though, by Caden Wallace to slide, getting so close to the pads there. It was the only shot he had.
John, you got an old-fashioned slugfest here tonight.
Yeah, it's kind of refreshing, isn't it? And the old pitcher's duel.
Get a little, little offense going.
Binoculars?
Really want to get it's like everything's in HD now, so you got to have binoculars, you got to get up close.
That's what I love. The first thing sitting down here was how close everything is. You know, because the dimensions, you really just get a...
Wait till a foul ball comes flying up in here.
Hey, you have good hands.
Yeah, not today.
In the dirt, Notmeyer swings down to second, no throw, and the batter is out.
Now that double plays out of order with the ball in the dirt. Hey, very, very impressed with the way Kentucky runs the bases. As soon as they see a ball in the dirt, they're off.
13-year-old Carson Myers. Carson's pitching idol is Madison Bumgarner, and he started holding his glove just off to the side before his windup to imitate Bumgarner. If he could hit like Bumgarner, he'd be in big-time shape right now.
Mad Bum had a nice home run last night.
So he's one of only 2 players that have hit home runs off.
Yeah, you see the pitchers that he hit
Kershaw,
him off?
Greinke, and who else did he hit one off of? Oh, DeGrom.
Last night.
Yeah.
He's had 2 off Kershaw, right?
Yeah. Long ones, too.
Baseball tonight, scheduled to follow us tonight. They're watching this one thinking, okay, we're in the top of the second. It's 4-1. We got an hour at 10 Eastern.
Could be short, the hair.
It might be.
We can bring Adnan and Timmy.
No.
In the 6th.
No.
Bring him in the booth.
No.
No?
No.
Oh. Try it, guys.
I don't need talking about movies or...
Oof. Myers is gone. He strikes out. All right, Jess, you're right. You'll be there with Bumgarner and his Giants. Sunday night baseball. Giants and the Mets, AT&T. The 4-game set wraps up then. Baseball tonight, Sunday night countdown will come from here in Williamsport. Adnan, Dallas, and Tim. And we'll stream it live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app.
You'll notice the graphic change of the photo because Yoenis Cespedes is back in that lineup.
Bruce,
no more Jay Bruce.
Bruce out, Cespedes in.
Oh,
they threw it and had him. And scoring from third is Newman. Not sure that was the way they designed it. He was out. Boy, Texas is kind of making a lot of mistakes tonight.
Yeah, that was a ball right there. I mean, that was a great throw, but you have to think that Rylan Quinones was blocked out by the runner. It was a good throw, low throw, but with the runner coming back toward him, You had to think he didn't see it.
Isaiah Head, first base, stayed down on it. Nice job over there by Flores King. 3 errors, 3 wild pitches, no earned runs. 5-1, Great Lakes leading the Southwest. Welcome back to ESPN's continuing coverage of the Little League World Series. It's presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Orange moon tonight here. Looking down on South Williamsport. Looking up if you're in the DirecTV blimp, as aerial coverage is brought to us by DirecTV. You call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Started on Thursday, now Friday, and of course the Little League World Series features 16 teams, 8 from the United States, 8 from the international side. Who would have thought after a couple of days Japan would be 0-1 and California would be 0-1. Warwick, Rhode Island, Bend, Oregon, also 0-1. Double elimination, you lose 2, you're out of championship contention, but you will play a consolation game, and you'll play it against either an international team, or if you're an international team 0-2, you'll play a team from the United States. Back on the mound is Devin Obie. He'll face 8-9-1. Ryan Dina, the fielder, ahead 2-0, and you got a 5-1 lead. You want to throw strikes, even if they're going to swing at it. This is the bottom of the order. Try to get some contact. Let your defense do the work. Get the sense too from watching, John, that both of these offenses, if you get deep into a team's pitching staff, you could put up some real crooked numbers quick.
Without question. Yeah, the thing is they got some pop. You see, Texas has already got one warming up in their bullpen, but they got. Not only can they hit, but they run the bases really well. I'm really impressed with the way Kentucky, the aggressiveness on the base pass. I know 3 of the kids have played here last year, but they're very, very good at taking the extra base.
Jam shot. Second baseman comes in and makes the play. That's Spencer Newman, and there's one down. A rare leadoff man being retired. We saw Gibson Maldonado. He was originally penciled in as the number 9 hitter at second base. He's out warming up, so Tim Arguello will bat in his place. It's a hello pitch. Good to see you. Right up near the...
Get in your kitchen a bit.
Head.
Welcome to the game.
Obie has fallen behind 5 of his last 7 batters. It's just not easy to deal that way. Slow roller short. Good arm over there from Patrick Forbes. And there are 2 down. Mexico and Italy will start things off noon Eastern time. That's tomorrow. And then our first game here at Lombardy, 3 o'clock Eastern time, will be on ABC with Oregon and Rhode Island, an elimination from championship game. California will take on the loser tonight. Who would have thought California would be in an elimination game on day 2, but they are. That's at 8 Eastern time. And Japan, already 0-1, will face a very difficult test from Curacao at 6. Little League World Series presented by Kellogg's, and it continues on Saturday.
This is the home run hitter, Tellis. There's Pops looking on.
0-2. Ooh.
Wow.
Almost got a piece of Dad down there.
I'm sure Dad's used to it.
There's no doubt Dad's used to it.
Assuming when there were some times that was meant to be.
Get Tellis sneaking a peek at the catcher. See where he's set up.
Good pitch. Tellis retired, and how about it? Devin Obie, 30 pitches in the first inning, only 13 there in the second. Teammates love it, like, yeah, let's get back in there. Let's get some bats going again. Devin, do that again. A few more times. Lamity Stadium in South Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Jamie Sire down on the field with the interviews and the compelling stories that surround these teams, their players, their families. John Kruk, Jessica Mendoza, and I'm Carl Ravitch here in our Little League World Series booth. We'll be here through the conclusion of the World Series a week from Sunday. All the excitement at Little League, and you get a chance to watch it unfold. Little League wants to thank the dedicated volunteers, and they also want to extend an appreciation to their official sponsors, Musco Lighting and Canon, who help maintain the strength and leadership of the Little League program. The volunteers are appreciated, and there's no way to give them their due credit. Whether you're an usher who's been here for a number of years, people that have volunteered inside the clubhouses and where the hot dogs are cooked, and the vendors, and driving kids around, taking them all the way to Williamsport in some cases. Just being there to support, because these are ups and downs, and a lot of ups for the teams that have made it here. But been a struggle for Britton Moore tonight, the left-hander. They're going to get into a pinch hitter 7-8-9 due up, and it's going to be Tate Hanks. He was a special pinch runner. We've seen him in the game already, but now he's getting a chance to hit. It occurs that if he just abbreviates his first name and uses the initial, you have T. Hanks. Of course,
good actor.
Yeah, there's some credibility there with Tom Hanks, the actor.
See, Adnan would have a lot of lines for that for you, Crucky.
Johnny?
Well, I saw a commercial. He's Sully, that the pilot that landed in the Potomac River.
This was it's the Hudson River, wasn't it?
Well, whatever.
It's a river. Potomac. Unfortunately, there have been. Unfortunately,
Potomac because it runs past my town.
Yeah, and there have been, I think, unfortunately, planes that have ended up in the Potomac. But no, this is the one of Sully who lands the plane in the Hudson Banks.
Lost my pen. Can't keep score anymore.
He's getting Rivers confused. Crooky's out.
Not a big river guy anyway. There it is.
Boy, you can actually hear the effort being put into picking up the pen.
Tell you what, that's a long way to bend over. Tell you that. All right, let's get back to the game.
Friday Night Funnies. Hanks on the ground to short. Whee! Ooh, good arm over there at short from Dominic Tellis.
Oh.
I hear you.
That's precious. That is so cute. Fourth game of the day.
Long day.
I think she's had a few slides down the hill.
When do we see? I saw you from here sliding down the hill. When does that make its television debut?
I don't know. I'm a little scared. I actually physically ate grass going down the hill.
Davis Morin, pinch hitter, strike one.
It's part of the tradition, though. That's what I was told.
You got to do it.
Everyone does it.
We're still waiting for John to do it.
No. That will never happen.
Like the fun hater.
I'll get him.
It's not the fun hater. It's what? Well, look at me.
So what?
It's not like it's a, you know.
This is just this is literally like laws of gravity. Big guy, cardboard box, hill, sit on it and go.
Carl.
With a camera to document the entire process.
Tim Kirkton coaching you.
Very important. He gave me coaching tips today.
Popped up right field. We'll see if Wallace can get there. He does. So what is it? What's the issue there?
Well, my body's abnormally shaped. And to get on a flat piece of cardboard, going down a hill, with the weight issue, I got a feeling I'm going to, the part of the cardboard's going to just plant into the grass, and then I'm going to flip over and roll down the hill in a very uncomfortable way.
Oh.
Do you
know physics in that? Did you hear that?
There was some physics there, yeah. John, do you know how big that would? I mean, I don't want to use the term big, but you know how many views that would get?
Well,
and I don't think that. I mean,
and you know how many parents would say, "Hey, here's the medical bill. You rolled over my kid." Yeah, that would be the end result.
Go the leisure way.
That would be
the final result of
that would be the end result.
I'm done.
Just John on the hill.
We're gonna make this happen.
Yeah, no.
Right now, how do you feel?
The only way I'll go slide down that hill is I better be walking around up there and trip.
We're gonna come back and win this game. You keep your heads up. You play hard, okay? Okay, we've been here before. We've rebounded numerous times. Let's go get this guy, build some momentum. We'll move on to this, okay?
So we're all in on Britton Moore to go to his 85 pitch limit. Their regional tournament, they had a couple of tight ones. They lost to New Mexico 9-6. They beat Louisiana 8-4 and then beat the team from New Mexico 13-3. So they understand being down and in fact losing a game. They don't want that to happen here tonight. They got 2 outs in the 3rd inning, and now maybe we've changed our mind.
He has to come out now,
right?
right?
Save you. Okay. Hey, good job. Gibson, you're going to come in. Hey, you did a great job, okay? Hey, you did a good job. Okay? All right? Yeah.
My name is Blake Compton, and I play catcher.
Lots of strikes, okay? You're going to go to center, okay? We're going to make a pitch and change, okay? Yes, sir.
They got the information on the phone.
Okay. Hey, lots of strikes. Hit your spots, okay?
How about Blake Compton, the catcher, who came up and introduced himself? It's like he does in the lineup. Hi, my name is Blake Compton, and I'm a catcher.
My favorite player is
Blake Compton. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. You call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. So, in spite of the fact that you heard Mike Wallace come out and say we're going to win this game, we're going to come back. Went back to the bench. Michael Tellis, the manager, said we're going to change. And now we do have a pitching change. Gibson Maldonado is now in. Britton Moore's moved to center field. And batting now is Trent Warden. He's in the number 9 spot. Jacob Kuba has gone in to play second base as well for the team from Texas. 5'4", 99-pounder. Appeared in 2 games in the regionals through 4 innings and a pretty good strikeout to walk ratio of 5-1. It's a good pitch, 2-1. Top of the 3rd inning. First game for both these teams, Kentucky and Texas, representing the Great Lakes and Southwest region. Right back over our head, but I could see both Jess and John ready for it.
Did you see Dave Fleming and Kyle Peterson in their game when a ball came, and them 2 jumped like someone threw a rattlesnake in the booth?
I think there was a split screen.
Oh gosh, scared
their reaction
to death.
versus your guys' reaction.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh, good pitch, and we had a great angle at how much that one broke. All right, so this is what it looked like. Jess, you take us to break. Break down the split screen.
Split screen. We got a pitcher and Kyle Peterson and Dave Fleming. Get me out of the way, but there's John Kruk with the pen and the bobble, but he makes the grab.
Nice. No runs for Great Lakes in the top of the third. They had 3 and then 2 in the second inning. They lead 5-1 over Texas as we head to the bottom of the third. And Little League, while they like to thank their volunteers, they also celebrate accomplishments. And tonight, Nancy Newton, the Mom of the Year, and Lacey Carter wins the Good Sport Award for the year, as both contribute to their respective Little Leagues.
Did Lacey throw out the first pitch?
Both of them were out there throwing out the first pitch.
She's a softball player.
She threw cheddar. It was good move. Short hop the catcher, but, you know, probably 0-2 count. You wanted to waste one.
I met her yesterday. She's a baller.
Yeah, she could throw.
Just sell it. You just sit around and greet people?
I was leaving the park, and she's like, I'm the good sport. And I didn't know what it meant until now. She's a good sport.
She's a great sport.
Did you tell her that that's something I've never won? Huh? I've seen you play. Yelling at the umpires. It's ridiculous.
Me. Yeah, I'm intimidating.
Would have thought we'd have settled into a little pitching duel, Carl.
Good start. Obi got ahead a lot in the last inning, and he threw only 13 pitches. Britton Moore up. That one is high and inside. We didn't see Jacob Coolbaugh go in to play second base, and we'll hear from Jacob's mom, of course, the wife of Mike Coolbaugh, who used to wear number 32 and was tragically killed as a first base coach for the Tulsa Drillers. This one's center field and playable and caught. And Jamie has much more with Mandy Coolbaugh.
Thank you so much, Carl. Yeah, I'm here with Mandy, and Carl just, you know, kind of told everybody about your husband and how he passed away. Given that tragic accident, I mean, you would think that maybe you wouldn't want your kids playing baseball, but why is it important for you to have them continuing to play?
Well, because that's how they connect with their father. You know, Mike always played, and since the day they were born, they've been out here on the field. My oldest, matter of fact, his first time coming to a baseball game, he was 6 weeks old, and Mike had spent so much time with them, and you know, he played with them after the games on the field. He brought them into the clubhouse before the games. This is a part of their life. So when they lost Mike, I couldn't take that away from them also. So I want them to play. It's how they connect with their father.
And given that, I mean, to have your son now playing here at the Little League World Series, what does that mean to you and to your family and his memory?
I like that Jake and his team have succeeded to make it to the top final 8 American teams. This is huge. This is something these kids will always remember. And for my son, I think it just gives him more passion for the game and makes it more memorable for him. It feels like but he wears Mike's number, so not his jersey number. They had to change him here. I wish he would still have 29, but he did put a helmet decal on. And for him, it's carrying his father, his memory with him. So for him to be able to go up on the field like this and have his father's number, it makes him smile. And for me, I need to see my kids smile. It's great. This experience has just been amazing for all the boys.
Well, we love to see you smile. We love to see them smile. And I love, too, that when we asked who his favorite player was, he said his dad.
Did he say it?
He did. He did.
Well, can I just say, he was kind of going back between his dad and Tulowitzki. He's like, current player or my all-time favorite player? So if Tulo's watching this, he still loves Tulo, too. But his daddy's always number one.
I think he made a good choice, right, Carl?
Oh, no doubt he made a great choice. And a really cool mom there in Mandy as well, who was a teacher and now stays at home. You got the decal there for Mike Coolbaugh, who played in the major leagues. And then that career ended, and he was a first base coach in Tulsa when he had that line drive go off of his neck. And it was very quickly after he ruptured an artery. Within an hour, he was pronounced dead. He was only 35 years old. So you got Jacob Coolbaugh, you got his brother, older brother, Joey, who's 14, and that's who Mandy was referring to.
And
she was also pregnant at the time.
Yeah, and that's the reason why you see minor league and major league first and third base coaches having to wear helmets.
Double play ball, not bobbled over there. They'll just get one. LJ Brown, who went as a special pinch runner, retired. Yeah, that is why they wear the helmets. And again, she was 3 months. She was pregnant, and 3 months later, daughter was born. And there's the brother, Joey. Ann is the daughter, who's now 8. Pinch hitter is going to be Ben Colton. Had a hit at the regionals. That one is laced to center field and played really well. Always hard for a center fielder to read it off the bat, but Turner Notmeyer not phased. Game settling in now. 5-1 Kentucky on top of Texas. Welcome back. ESPN's coverage of the Little League World Series. Tonight presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Friday night, South Williamsport, Pennsylvania, Lomity Stadium all lit up. Fans having a good time, and about 15,000 of them have made their way here for Friday. Bigger crowds expected over the weekend. And all the excitement of Little League World Series, including the scores, stats, highlights, and more, can be found at LLBWS.org or follow along on social media with hashtag LLWS. So we hooked Jess Mendoza her first trip ever here to South Williamsport Little League World Series. We've sucked in others in years past. Terry Francona called it a combination of baseball and a county fair, and you can really see why. Is that an accurate description?
I said that today. I was saying it reminds me, I was talking to some locals that just come out every year. I said it's kind of like that local fair meets a national celebration of a sport.
Here's Devin Obie. Waited on that one and whacked it to a home run. It went over the wall and Obie has gone deep. Didn't get out by much, but it got out enough.
His coaches use the word demoralize when they talk about the way that he swings the bat. And just look at the way he carries his whole entire body. Watch, just gets into that front foot in a beautiful way. Stays back like you mentioned, Carl. Crush it over the fence.
I see ya! I see ya, D!
You can hear Terry Obie. That's his dad. Screaming there was the first base coach. That one right off the foot of Spencer Newman. Yikes.
Walk it off, walk it off. Walk it off. You're all right. You're all right, buddy. You're all right. You're all right. You're all right. Just walk it off. Walk it off. It's your toe. Walk it off.
Both Obie and Kelly wearing the microphones.
That's great advice to walk it off, but when you're the one that hits the one off your foot, the last thing you want to do is walk.
It hurts more to walk. Just let me stand.
Yeah. Looks like they're going to a substitution, huh?
Either that or manager Rick Kelly is going to hit some BP. He's looking real comfortable with that bat slung over his shoulder. My sense is Spencer's going to hang around.
Yeah, I think so too. I think everyone should try that once.
No.
Really?
That's never played or never done it. Just grab a hammer and whack yourself in the arch of the foot.
How could you? Anytime you've played, everyone's done it. I still have bruises on my shin that are permanent. Literally, just big rocks knocking foul balls off of it.
They don't go away.
He's the leader on the team, having been here now back-to-back years. And there's another one, of course, that gets him too.
He keeps trying to pull that curveball that's outside. He's going to do it again.
If he won the lottery, he'd go out and buy a lot of sports cars.
Really?
Yeah.
He should give it to that one kid to invest.
And then get to sit in the passenger seat.
Yeah, at that age.
Hey.
Oh, he hammered it to left field. It's off the wall. Newman and that injured toe slides into second safely with a double.
You know, Crucky, usually the first thing you see in a hitter after they pound one off of their foot is they have a hard time not opening up, and he does just a great job. Watch him actually stay close and inside pitch, but get his hands there to drive this pitch out. You can see why Spencer Newman's a leader on the team.
Good play by Medina out there in left field. Played it perfectly off the wall. Good strong throw to second.
Throws that backdoor breaking ball to these lefties, but unfortunately for Texas, they've allowed 3 runs in the first, 2 in the second, and another one here in the fourth. Good fastball to John Guthrie.
Carl, you remember watching Travis Hafner hit?
Yep.
Does John Guthrie look like that in his setup? Hands away from his body, the bat waggle.
High elbow.
That was Travis Hafner.
Prong could hit it far.
Ooh.
Former Indian who would just mash the ball when he was hitting it. He would hammer it. Guthrie's got that type of power. That's a perfect pitch. He's got that backdoor breaking ball to lefties. It's never a strike until it gets to the plate.
That's what makes it so tough. It's a ball out of the hand because the arm side, it's away from the plate, but watch it kind of just sneak back over, maybe a little off the plate. Still gets strike 3.
Turner Notmeyer, who's been playing a good center field and is a fan of the actor Matt Damon. Think about Bowling Green, Kentucky, and everybody knows about Lexington, Kentucky, and Louisville, Kentucky. Bowling Green is a growing community in Kentucky. The population is soaring. Now the 3rd largest city in Kentucky. They've invested a ton of money in their downtown.
Because they want to come out and watch his Little League team play.
Can't blame them.
Oh,
63,000. It's about 60 miles north of Nashville, Tennessee. And now that you've been introduced to their location in Nashville, Tennessee, it does bring up the fact that there's a Goodlettsville, Tennessee playing in the Little League World Series, and both Goodlettsville and this team from Bowling Green have scrimmaged against each other before they got here. About a 45-50 minute ride. So both those all-star teams have played against each other. That one on hard on the ground is short. Look at Tellis and that cannon over there. So here you see how close Bowling Green, Kentucky and Goodlettsville, Tennessee actually are to each other. And as I mentioned, John, they got a chance to practice before their regionals. And who would have thunk that they would both end up here in Williamsport? They probably did, which is why they scrimmaged against each other.
Yep. So they should have all the scouting reports down if they play them?
They'll know a little bit about each other.
Think.
Carson Myers bats. What do you think, John, about the icing on the cake, gravy type? We're here, and that's more than enough. And you get all the swag and everything, and you get to enjoy all the experiences here. As opposed to we're here and we're so focused on baseball, we got to win. It seems like most of the coaches have the right perspective on that.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not? Like, if you sequester your kids up in the Grove and you're practicing, 4 hours a day, and you're making it like, this is the most important thing you're ever going to do in your life, so we're going to win. Kids aren't going to enjoy it. And you go up there, you see those kids, Carl, you see them when they're not playing, they're watching games, but they're having fun while they're doing it. That's what this is about.
First base unoccupied until Gibson Maldonado did a terrific job as the pitcher ran over to cover first. But one more run for Kentucky. They get themselves a 5-run lead as we head to the bottom of the 4th when we come back. Great smiles on the faces of the boys that are playing at the Little League World Series this year as we take a look at our Honda game summary. And this is the life. Think about where you're at and what you're watching Devin Obi, 3 innings, 5 Ks. He's got the solo home run. Dominic Tellis started things off with a shot. And Spencer Newman's having a good game, 2 for 2, double, 2 runs, and a bruise on his foot after he fouled the ball off it, but then got the double to help erase some of that pain. Talked a lot about this Texas offense coming in, and so far they've been held in check. After that first inning and that home run, you figure, okay, we got a 15-12 game. Winner will play Sunday against Iowa. The loser gets California tomorrow. What a gift that is. You lost, and now you're facing California.
Yeah, I tell you what, Carl, we thought coming in when you look at all the statistics from the regionals and the fact that the team from California, always notoriously strong teams, and they just got outplayed in every aspect of the game this afternoon by that team from Iowa.
Sure did. Jacob Kulbaugh, he bats now. We've heard from his mom. Now he gets a chance to hit. We watched him take infield earlier because the infield with Tellis and Maldonado have been so solid. It's a difficult spot for Kulbaugh to be in. Ouch! Ouch! Right off his leg, right near that left knee, and that one may take a while to recover from.
Yeah, it looked like it got him right above that left knee.
Already getting a round of applause from both sides.
You have to imagine that what he's been through at such a young age, he's got to be a pretty tough kid.
You heard mom there, like, make it count. Let's see you come around and score. That was a hard thrown fastball that got him right on the left knee, the outside of that left knee.
See first baseman Carson Myers going over to shake his hand, see how he's doing. Great sportsmanship here in Little League. Oh, man.
It's a tough spot, and now obviously, as you see,
Devin Obi, the pitcher.
Run over and apologize, if you will. It's good to see him running, because now he is, in effect, a runner. Then you need to have your legs be able to move you around the bases. Looks like Jacob's going to stay in the game as well. Everybody's giving him fist pumps over there. And they need base runners and they need runs. Bottom of the fourth, the game's last 6 innings.
Not sure I'd ever see Madison Bumgarner hit someone and go shake their hand.
No, he's not the one that's going to go over there.
No.
Caden Wallace will bat. His pinch hit for in the first.
4'11", and his nickname's Moose.
I like that. See, that I like. You go Oppo.
Maybe his favorite player is Mike Moustakas.
Yeah, or Mike Mussina. It's possible.
We'll probably see Mike here, won't we? Mike Mussina here.
Very well could. He's always here. He works with Little League and their board of directors. He lives right here in Montoursville, which is about 10 minutes away. Ground ball to second, to short, to first. Double play. Nice turn out there by Spencer Newman and Patrick Forbes.
Spencer Newman having himself a night. Gets the ball right over to Forbes, flips it on down to Myers at first. It's not easy with 60 feet, guys. They made it look like that.
They really did.
That's the beauty of Little League, Carl. After they turn the double play, first baseman Carson Myers looking to throw it around the horn. Shortstop, second baseman running around celebrating. He couldn't throw it to anyone. Love it.
Pitch inside to Esteban Guillory. Gets his first chance to swing. And with the 14 players on the roster for Texas, the substitutes are required to get 1 at bat and not required to play in the field. And if Kentucky's able to hold on, they're in a really good spot. Obi really settled down. And they have their ace, Isaiah Head, available for their second game.
Ball 4.
Well,
hey, I was with him. It looked like a strike
look
the
at
way he moved, pointing to first base.
Look at OB. Look at everybody. It's beautiful. What? Wait, what?
What happened here? All right, what's the count?
It's like your head's nodding yes, saying no.
Right.
You see Obi looking around like, what happened there?
He seemed to call a strike, but say ball 4.
Yeah, he raised his right hand. That means strike.
Ball 4.
Or go to first.
Gibson Maldonado grounded out his first time up to short. 5'4", 99 pounds to second. Pretty good play. Took a short hop, but no issue for Spencer Newman. And we are now through 4 innings, and the team from Bowling Green, Kentucky, looking stronger and stronger with OB on the mound. He homered earlier. Isaiah Head will lead things off when we return. Lomity and Volunteer Stadium, and that brings up our thoughts and prayers who are with Denny Lewin, a longtime ABC sports producer of Little League and Little League chairman of the board. He was a man who was way ahead of his time when it came to television, and sadly they mourned the loss of his wife Vicky earlier this week. She leaves behind a son, DJ, and daughter Cassidy Toohey, son-in-law Patrick Toohey, and a grandson, Casey. Vicky had been sick for a while, so our thoughts and prayers are with Denny Lewin, and you can see that we are sitting in the Dennis Lewin broadcast booth. He has been involved with Little League. His job has taken him away for so many years on weekends. He wanted to give back, and one of the ways he did it, and just one, because he was so involved with so many things, was to get involved with Little League. Right back to the pitcher. And one down. That was Jackson Moore, who came in as a pinch hitter. Mason Williams, he got a hit his first time up. And he got pinch hit for. He's 1 for 1. Perhaps, Jess, you're talking about at the top the advantage of having actually been here 2 years in a row. Think about the players that have contributed tonight. Obi has been on twice, a walk and a homer. Newman all 3 times. Myers scored a run in the first. So all 3 of the guys that have been here last year contributing big time tonight.
Well, how rare that is.
This one is laced center field. And caught. That's Britton Moore, the former pitcher out there. Looked real comfortable in center field. 2 down. All right, boys, girls, coaches, moms, dads, listen up. Little League University is now providing web-based training for the coaches, umpires, volunteers, and parents. You can watch videos, review practice plans, or just get any ideas you want for playing catch, improving practices. You can visit and join for free at littleleagueuniversity.org today. 2 down for Kyle Snyder.
I think we should remind the viewers that, you know, all these umpires that are here, and there's 6 in each game, are all volunteer umpires.
And they're here for 2 things. A, they love baseball, and they're really into what they do. I mean, they take a lot of pride in being umpires. You get a chance to talk to them a lot. It's a thrill for them, too. You're umpiring on a national stage like this at the highest level of Little League. And here are the men who are doing it tonight. We've had women do it before. Freeman Freeze, Cook, Henry Smith, and Lopez Pelot. Home plate umpire Willie Freeman heard it nick Kyle Snyder, so a base runner for Kentucky.
I think he was hoping the umpire didn't hear that. It looked like he wanted to stand there and hit.
I don't blame him. Why wouldn't you want to do
He's got the eye black on. He's hitterish.
He's almost looking at him like, oh, man.
I think he's right. I think he wanted his hacks. substitute. He got his chance. He got hit. Got to run to first. Get many more opportunities, but got a special pinch runner going in for him and Tate Hanks. And now Patrick Forbes bats.
I had a kid in Little League once that the umpire said he got hit by a pitch. He told the umpire it didn't hit him.
He argued with him.
Argued with him. He ended up striking out because the umpire agreed with him. Okay, if you want to hit, come hit. He struck out. And that was one of those teaching lessons of don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Right. Breaking ball. Oh, mistake there. Thrown down the line, and he is going to go to third.
Go down!
And he slides in there. That was a mistake. Unfortunately, catcher Blake Compton thought he had a chance to get Hanks, the special pinch runner, and he threw it all the way into right field.
And that's just like an example of setting yourself before you throw, and Compton saw him. Big old lead after the ball in the dirt.
It looked like Jesse wanted to try to throw from his knees like big league catchers do. And it's like, oh, well, let me get up. And he got caught in between and bounced it.
No, dropped it first, and that error cost them as the run scores from third. That would have been the third out, but Quinones and Flores King couldn't connect. And another run for Kentucky.
And look who it brings up. You see right here, Quinones, set his feet, just bounced the throw, and the first baseman couldn't come up with it. That's a hard thing to teach kids, is you don't try to catch it, you swipe your glove and it'll stick in it. When you try to catch that ball, sometimes it won't stick in.
Wow.
I mean,
he threw it behind Devin Obey, and it was caught.
But look at how, Devin Obey is standing, as much as you can legally be on the plate, so much that it got thrown behind him.
He was off the plate, that'd have hit him in the back.
Oh. See, that's a good pitch.
Yeah, that's tough to get in there.
I think if I'm Devin Obey right now, I'm probably telling myself, looks like they want to come inside. Watch out, scoreboard in left field.
Obey's homered tonight. He has 5 home runs in tournament play. Set up inside again. Breaking ball, he just missed it. Long throw coming, another one in the dirt, and Obey beats it out, even though it was scooped well by Flores King. I'm not blaming Rylan Quinones at third base with Obey up. I'm not crowding. I'm not moving in at third.
Come on, Spence!
No, you look how deep Quinones is, and then he has to back up a couple steps into the grass. And thought at some point that Obey might have tried to make a turn on that one, go to second. He was that safe. Young man can run.
Here's Newman, who's walked, singled, and doubled.
That's a nice pitch.
Sure is.
Maldonado, we've seen him throw it to the lefties. Called it the back door, how it curves around the plate, but he just front doored it right there to Newman.
Newman on a line to center. It gets down. Rounding third and coming home. Here's your throw. Safe at home. Third is Obey. He's safe. Obey scores into third. Goes Newman. He'll stop there. And 2 more runs for Kentucky. Their aggressive base running has been a huge part of the story tonight.
Yeah, aggressive base running, Carl. But Blake Compton, he's got to hold on to the ball every once in a while. With 2 outs, you're running on contact. Easy throw, easy to score from second base on that ball. But you watch Compton when he's trying to throw, Carl. The runner slid into his feet, and instead of holding the ball, he tried to throw flat-footed and bounced another one to third and gets away, and another run scores.
We can have you in a couple days. We're going to bring in Timmy. We're going to probably send you back to second, okay? Come on, Timmy.
He's paired with me.
Oh, okay. Is he paired with you? Okay. Go ahead and go out. Okay. Now you're going to stay. Blake.
So the Southwest champions are making a pitching change here. The other big number is the one that we're seeing on the scoreboard. Beyond the 9-6 errors tonight by the team from Texas. We're back at Lomity Stadium, South Williamsport, the 2016 Little League World Series underway as we are now at night 2. And Kentucky commanding lead over Texas. You take a look at the team that was here last year, the 2015 Bowling Green Kentucky club. Obi, Myers, and Newman all there. And you kind of want to focus on the size of the kids.
Wow.
Then and now, and how quickly things can change.
Devin Obi.
You think? 4 inches for Newman, a couple inches for Myers, 3 more inches for Obi, who was big then at 5'8". They're eating a lot and they're growing a lot. Like the city they live in, Bowling Green, expanding. All right, new pitcher, Tim Arguello. And John Guthrie. Twice his reach, once on an error, and a walk, struck out his last time up. That base running, John, has caused many of the errors tonight.
Yes, they're forcing him into making throws, and everyone knows no matter how good you are, most of the time in Little League, if you have to make a lot of throws, eventually you're going to fire a couple away.
I've just been impressed how well coached this Kentucky team is. Even when Britton Moore was the starting pitcher for Texas, and how the players adjusted to where they were out in the plate, their aggressive base running.
Good swing right there.
Can really tell when a hitter sees the curveball out of the hand and they just wait on it. Guthrie certainly identified that one, but the count now 2-2. Texas pitching depth being tested tonight, and they'll be right back at it tomorrow. Like to see Rylan Quinones pitching. This endeavor for all these teams starts middle of June when they begin their practice. Many of them practice twice a day. Several go on weekends. Iowa has been involved with that as they're looking on. Hard grounded to second off the foot of the second baseman, Kulba. That one kind of took a weird hop because it stayed down on the ground. It didn't come up for him. And another run makes it 10-1. This is one we're just going to wash away when we go back to the Grove tonight.
Yeah, this is a game that's a lot easier to take than the game we saw last night when you lose on a walk-off. Again, they played some sloppy defense. They've walked a lot of guys. And this is one you just say, you know what, get that out of the way now.
You go back and you don't even point fingers because we were all pretty bad tonight, guys. We'll forget about that, though, and come back tomorrow.
And I'm sure the coaches are.
They'll look around saying, what happened? Who are you guys?
Yeah. I think the coaches from Kentucky, though, are looking like, let's try to get one more right here. We get 3 outs. We 10-run rule them.
Yep. 4 errors in this inning. Breaking ball misses.
I mean, you look at the board, Carl, 7 errors.
Yeah.
Not sure there's been any game ever with 7 errors and the team's won.
Well, baseball tonight. Yeah, baseball tonight. There's the researchers, or Michael Bonzani, the Bonds researcher for baseball tonight, is already digging. How many has any team ever won with 7 errors?
I'm going to go yes, because it's baseball. Pretty much everything's happened.
We have Justin Page inside here digging it up as well. That one in the dirt. Down to second in a scoring position. Now going to third.
On the bag, on the bag, on the bag.
Wow, the base running has caused Texas to almost forget what got him here. And they're looking around like, what is happening? I think we've all been involved in these types of things. You end up giggling. I mean, what are you going to do?
And the message after the game, shake it off, boys.
Left field, it gets down, and it does. And scoring from third with the 11th run is John Guthrie. So it's 11-1 with 2 down. And as John mentioned a few minutes ago, the 10-run rule will come into effect. With Kentucky on top by 10, Texas will have a chance in the bottom of the 5th to reduce it below 10. Otherwise, the game will end if they don't.
And they have the top of the order up too, does Texas, but they got to get out of this one first.
Good hit there by Turner Notmeyer, his first of the night. Well, Jess, you got children of your own. You're getting into that age, and as you know, you want to tell them to relax a lot.
It's just a game.
But the unpredictability of and I've been through boys who have been 12.
So we're being challenged a little bit. Make a play for Timmy.
This is ideal.
You got to learn how to handle adversity, okay? We've done this before, okay? Keep your heads up. Still very proud of y'all. Keep your heads up. Somebody make a play, okay? You're doing a great job. You keep fighting. I need Jay. Our pitchers are fighting. I need y'all to fight, okay? All right?
Well said, Michael Wallace.
You never know what the day is going to bring. You just don't.
Well, and you can see just the tears almost right there. Some of the eyes of these boys, and it's what you need to hear. Is just let's get back to fighting, especially for your pitcher.
Carson Myers, ball 1. To John's point, we'll go to the top of the order for Texas. The top of the order for Kentucky has been outstanding as well tonight. We mentioned Obie and Newman back for the 2nd year in a row. 5 for 6, a homer, double, and 6 runs scored. Not a lot of celebrating going on.
Not yet.
There either.
3 outs.
Tell you what, Ben Colton behind the plate. Working hard.
9:58 in the East. Baseball tonight standing by. It's presented by Heinz tonight. Adnan, this is how Adnan rolls. He just sits there and other people do things for him. See, we're getting the old headset on. Yeah, he's already been made up.
Sure, his hairstylist is there.
He's got one of those too.
I tell you what, he's really changed.
I don't know who you are anymore.
That's 2 people out of the 5 here that I don't know anymore.
Yes, Adnan.
You're one of them.
How about this tonight that Tim and Adnan will break down? Rick Porcello is now 17-3. The Red Sox beat the Tigers. Michael Fulmer, who just hasn't lost, he lost tonight. They got beaten up pretty good. 17-3 with an ERA of about 3.25. Worry about that National League Cy Young. Who's the American League Cy Young winner? 17-3.
How about Jay Happ?
I was going to say the Blue Jays have got a couple. Sanchez is still in the conversation.
Absolutely. Zach Britton's in the conversation, the closer for the Orioles.
He's filthy. But doesn't Jay Happ have 17 wins also?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
17-3.
They'll do that. The other thing I know Tim's going to bring up is the 2-2 two-out pitch is on the way, and it's wide. Is that tonight Jose Altuve became the 2nd guy 5'6" or shorter to have a 20 home run season. The other guy to do it, I believe Tim will say, would be Hack Wilson.
Why has Tim got to say it?
Because that's a Tim thing.
I thought you were going to play the height.
No. There's no height issue there, no. It's a historical nugget. Now they're loaded and another walk to the mound.
I believe there's a path there.
But it's not over. Hey, you got to throw some strikes, okay? Don't worry about it. All right, cool ball. I think you're going to go in. You go to second. You're going to go in. Where are you going, LJ? Okay, you going to send Esteban in? Yeah, you're going to go back over here. Thank you, Timmy. Hey, you did a good job. You did a good job. Lots of strikes, though.
All right, so we'll stay as the warm-up pitches are thrown on what has been somewhat of an historical day here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, given the teams that were playing and the results of the games they played in. And this, as we discuss the unpredictability of 12 and 13-year-olds, one of the things you usually could predict would be a Japan win. They lost today big time, 10-4 to Canada. Congratulations to Canada. JT Garcia came up and sent chills through the spines of everybody that was watching. Hit a home run while his mom, who is fighting cancer, was being interviewed. And then South Korea, thanks to Junho Jang, 4 innings, 10 strikeouts. They beat Curacao 3-0. In this double elimination format, you think about the teams that are facing elimination. Curacao and Japan on the international side of this tournament. California, Oregon, who was so good last night and lost in the 6th inning on a comeback by Goodlettsville, Tennessee. So there has definitely been parity this year, if you will, as the Little League World Series presented by Kellogg's will continue, and we will have coverage tomorrow. We want to remind everybody our game between Oregon and Rhode Island, which is an elimination from championship competition, will be on ABC at 3 Eastern time. California's up against it, and it certainly looks like Texas will be too. That's our night game at 8 Eastern time. Japan and Curacao, good one at 3 Eastern time as well. All right, so Medina is on. The bases are loaded. And Gibson Maldonado swings and misses.
Yeah, Carl, this is a situation where you're coming into this 11-1 game, and the only thing you can do is try to get out of this inning and hope your team can score some runs and try to prolong this game and see what happens.
Misspoke. It's Mason Williams who's at the plate. He looks at a ball there. Good call up. I'm in on that. Let's expand the zone a little bit. 10 runs, 2-2. Baseball tonight, hanging around and waiting. Let's swing the bat.
Yeah, easy for you to say you're not hit. You know, it's going to be almost impossible for the team from Texas to come back, but they got the top of the order and they can swing it. I'm sure the team from Kentucky wants more.
This is trouble. Oh, what a catch! How did Britton Moore get there? Wow, the former pitcher tonight looks like Fred Lynn out there in center field. Brady Anderson, the lefty center fielder, comes out of nowhere and prevents more runs from being scored. What a catch! Come on, outfielder.
Got some jets going, Carl.
How about that?
Britton Moore stretching it out, helping his teammates out, get out of the inning.
Yeah, Britton. Raise your hands.
This is presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flake Cereal. They're great.
In between innings, Terry Obie, the head coach of the team that's now up by 10. I think it's a speech.
What does a lion say? 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 Hey, you got them where you want them, guys. You got them where you want them, right? Let's take them down, right? You got to play defense.
I love it. There's the lion.
I tell you what, I can honestly say I hope I never get close enough to a lion to hear what he has to say. Because I got a feeling I'd be a nice meal for that lion.
Well, top of the order. John's promised some big whacks at it. Dominic Tellis homered to start this game off. I'll say this, Devin Obie, who's thrown 67 pitches, has been outstanding. He threw 30 in the first inning. You're like, no chance we're getting to the 6th inning. And he's been outstanding.
Well, you know, in that first inning, Carl, and then going into the second, third innings, he started pitching backward, breaking ball first pitch, and then finished with fastballs.
Look out, look out. Oh, wow, a bounce pass over there to first base. Carson Myers picked it up.
Here, the coach, throw that ball hard. He took that breaking ball, the dirt to the thigh. You see he's limping out to the mound right now to talk to Devin Obie.
Again, we're only in the bottom of the 5th, but with Kentucky leading by 10, Texas has to score at least 1 to keep the game going, or the 10-run rule will be in place. Texas had the big home run from Tellis in the first. They got a single from Moore, and they single from Brown, and that's been it. They have no hits since the first inning. Baseball tonight presented by Heinz. Standing by and coming up next. Not sure we gave enough credit to
Britton Moore.
Britton Moore with that catch.
Well, look, Coach said, fight a little bit. Get your pitchers back. That's where having a long body, playing full on out. A lot of times when you see outfielders catch a ball, they catch it and kind of roll over. I mean, he fully outstretches. That is so hard to do, to perfectly time that.
Practice that going down the hill.
That's what it looked like. Wow, Obie gets more, so he gets the top 2 of the order to start the 5th. (30-13), 12, 11, now 7 so far in the 5th.
I'd say he's got pretty efficient. Yeah, that first inning, you thought, okay, we're going to be in a bullpen game. And then you wonder because, like you said, Carl, Kentucky's #1 pitcher can't pitch.
Yeah.
Devin Obie's their #2 guy. And you wondered, if he doesn't get through this second inning, who's going to pitch for him?
Well, given the tournament that we're in, it's amazing how little things can alter the outcome of the eventual championship. Whether it be a comeback from Tennessee last night, the fact that Texas had to use so many pitchers tonight. Obie settled down. Back up the middle, he fields it. What a job by Devin Obie, and Kentucky makes a loud statement as they beat Texas 11-1.
Hey, I'm so proud of you, Bill. I'm so proud of you. Hey, way to battle back, boy. Hey, that was all.
Terry Obie had so many things he wanted to say to his son there, and I'm sure he'll have plenty of time as the kids head back to the Grove. Texas will put their heads on their pillow and forget all about what happened in this game. It is a tournament, so we have the winner's side on the United States. Endwell, New York will take on Goodlettsville, Tennessee. That's at 3 Eastern time on ABC. On Sunday, Johnston, Iowa, a winner, will take on Bowling Green, Kentucky, ESPN2. Those are the teams that have won. Tomorrow, elimination day from championship competition. Obie did it all. Pitched a 5-inning game, and he helped his team win by 10. Our final 11-1 for Jess Mendoza, Jamie Sire, John Kruk, Carl Ravitch. Baseball tonight presented by Heinz. Here's Adnan Burke.
All right, thank you so much, Ravi. Certainly another entertaining day here from South Williamsport, Pennsylvania at the Little League World Series. A triumphant performance for one team and unfortunately disappointment for another here in the nightcap, but certainly lots of drama, especially earlier today. As you can see the crowd now filing out. All the highlights of the night coming up on Baseball Tonight. Baseball tonight is presented by Heinz. So it's great to have you with us. We'll get to the Major League highlights in just a second, but first, Jamie Sire with a special guest. Jamie.
Thank you so much. I'm here with Devin Obie, and you played a big role in this game. You pitched the complete game, 5 innings, and also had the big home run. What does it feel like to contribute in such a big way in this Game 1 win for your team?
It feels really great to come out first game and play as well as we did, and gives our team a lot of confidence for all the other games.
And you're one of 3 players that was with this team last year in Williamsport. What did you learn from last year that you're going to put into effect this year? Maybe you already did tonight.
To just have fun. It's just baseball. You're in the League World Series. It's just always have fun and just be calm and play baseball.
And now, how tall were you last year, and how many inches have you grown?
I was 5'6" last year, and I'm like 5'11", 6 foot this year.
All right, towering over me at 5'4". What are you looking forward to the most as you guys now go into the next part of the tournament with this big win in this first game?
I'm just looking forward to keep playing with this team and just playing in the World Series and just having fun.
All right, I think your family's right, your mom's right behind you. And what's it like having your dad as one of your coaches?
It's just a great motivation for me to play good every time I step on the field.
All right, well, have fun, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations. We're going to send it upstairs to Carl.
All right, James, thank you, Devin, as well. Terrific. And I mean, you heard it there. He kept emphasizing the fun part of this whole thing. I get that winning is kind of fun, but I think it's been drummed into all the kids here. Fun is what this is about.
You could tell he didn't panic. He had 30 pitches in the first inning. Looked like he was really struggling to find his command early on. He hits a home run, and all of a sudden he's locked in, smile on his face the entire game. And you could just tell he's not only a great baseball player, someone who grew 5 inches in just a year, but he understands the game, and that's exactly how he pitched tonight.
Yeah, he did. And think about it, the first hitter of the game for Texas, his first batter he faced, hit a home run. Next hitter, it's a hard line drive to left field, and then all of a sudden he started pitching backwards. Curveball to get ahead, fastball to finish off, and then he basically finished off the team from Texas with that long home run right there. Complete game, a complete effort by Devin Obie in this one.
His dad, of course, the coach. His dad played wide receiver, was a punt and kick returner on the Vikings and Bears in the NFL in '91 and '93. And he was a Stanford coach when Andrew Luck and Richard Sherman played there. I get the sense this is the ultimate for him again. Watching his son, Devin Obie, give you 5 innings and only 3 hits allowed. It sets him up beautifully. They have their best pitcher, Isaiah Head, available for their game. As they win, they'll play on Sunday. And you go 2-0 here, you're in good shape. Remember that Little League statistic? Since '01, have not seen a team lose their first game and end up winning a championship. So the teams that won today are in good shape. And we saw some upsets as well. Adnan and Tim will have much more on the rest of the day in Little League and certainly the Major League stories. This is what the last out looked like, and it was done to perfection by Devin Obie. So that'll do it from up here in the booth. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow as our coverage begins early. We'll be on at 3 Eastern time, ABC. For now, for Jess and John and the Obie family, back to Adnan. Adnan?
All right, Ravi, thank you very much. Great stuff by you and the entire crew, as always. You know, we had the pleasure, Tim, of talking to Kentucky yesterday on the set, and you can tell they're a very poised and confident team, and Ravi was talking with Terry Obie, and I got to tell you, what does the Lions say? Apparently says a riotous victory for them.
Right, the Lions say those kids played really well tonight. And for that kid to grow 5 inches in the course of a year, seriously, and keep his athletic ability like that. Some kids grow that much, and it affects them. Yep. He seems to be getting better as he gets bigger and stronger.
The Lions sleeps tonight. In the meantime, earlier today, Canada taking on Japan, and this was a wild game here at the Little League World Series. Japan is a juggernaut historically when it comes to this tournament. Top of the fourth, Canada's up 4-0. That's Christian Santorelli, a 2-run home run. And you can see Santorelli's dad emotional in the stands as his son's delivering a birthday present. Canada's up 6-0, and a strong start of the game for Canada's Loretto Siniscalchi. Struck it at the side in the first inning here, Tim.
And I stood right next to him today. He is a big kid. He's got some huge hands, and he throws really hard. And when you're throwing this hard from this distance, that is unhittable right there, Adnan. You get that thing up in the zone, you got no shot.
Siniscalchi, 5 2/3, 1 earned, 13 strikeouts, and in the top of the 6th, he also has a home run.
He stayed back nicely on that ball and went where it was pitched. Hits it the opposite way for a home run, and he's got the little chicken wing going.
Yeah, in honor of the Blue Jays,
There you
Edwin
go.
Encarnacion. Clearly, a good day for Canada as they win this game. 10-4 was the final. Canada's 7-game losing streak at the Little League World Series is snapped. First win since 2013, and 10 runs scored, tied for its most against Japan. Just their second win against the Japanese team, improving to 2-12 overall in that category. To further show perspective on Japan and just how huge that loss was, I mean, look at these numbers. This is the first time in a while. 23-game win streak to open the Little League World Series was snapped. Japan losing its opener for the first time since 1965 versus Indiana. And here with Team Canada, you know, we try to be impartial, but I'm Canadian, so way to go, guys. Well done out there, all right? The pride of Vancouver, British Columbia. Now, the big thing today watching the game, you guys did so well out there against Japan, and everybody's talking about this chant. Can you teach me this Canadian chant we got going on here? Let's do it on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, who's going to lead us?
All day like, and it sound like, all the time like, all night like, Big P like, gonna win like.
That is awesome. That's now number 2 behind O Canada as far as my favorite songs going. Let me talk to the manager here, Vito Bordignon. This is amazing what you guys did. Nobody's beaten Japan in an opening round game, coach, since 1965. How are you guys able to do it?
Well, we'll tell you, we just play with we're hard work, and we play with resilience, and we deal with adversity. We just come out to play. We find a way to win.
Loretto, you're the game's winning pitcher today. You struck out 13 guys in under 6 innings. What does it feel like to go out there at your age and be able to throw that hard against really good hitters?
Feels pretty good throwing the ball, just hitting my spots. Feels pretty good throwing that hard.
Nicola, what is it like to, I know you haven't faced him, but you know what it's like to face somebody throwing this hard. How hard is he throwing?
I say he's throwing around mid-70s and higher. It's really difficult to catch up.
Right. Liam Lewis here with me. Liam, what is it? No, don't be nervous. This is going to be easy. Don't worry. Against Japan here, scoring 10 runs. That's tied for the most Canada's ever scored against Japan. What's it like to be a part of history?
It's kind of breathtaking. I didn't really have much to describe that.
I agree with you. The numbers that you guys put up was amazing. What's going to be the key, you think, in the game against South Korea on Sunday?
Hit the ball and get on big.
And score more runs against the other team. Let's close this on a high note. Give me that chant one more time. Come on.
All day like, and it sound like, all the time like, all night like, Big P like, gonna win like.
Give it up for Team Canada. You'll see them on Sunday against South Korea. Great job, guys. Way to go. Canada. Just do pom-poms next time, Tim. We'll be all right.
You have to do that before you go to bed tonight. It'll be great.
California to Iowa. Iowa's JT Garcia, his teammates wearing purple bracelets in support of JT's mother
It was
battling
very
cancer.
important for me to make the trip and be able to watch the entire team play. They have really come together and become a family.
Special moment for the Garcia family, but Tim, that's about as good as it gets.
Right, that is so wonderful. And that pitch was up in the strike zone, above the strike zone. He went up and got it and crushed it.
Fantastic home run there for JT Garcia. Iowa's second 1-0 start in Little League World Series history. The Midwest region was 0-15 in Little League World Series openers prior to Iowa's win over California. And Iowa's next game Sunday at 7 Eastern versus Kentucky. California, by the way, first 0-1 start at the Little League World Series since 2002.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Scoop. My favorite baseball player is Derek Jeter.
Jonathan Scope. He can do some damage with the bat. Base hit, and Curacao strikes first. And here comes Jurickson Profar.
My name is Jurickson Profar. My favorite baseball player is Alex Rodriguez.
Runner at second is Scope. Profar's our hitter. In the air, deep center field, gone. Profar puts Curacao up by 3 runs. How about that?
Great memories of the past for Scope and Profar. South Korea taking on Curacao in Little League World Series action. Top of the first is Durangelo Sinche with early control issues as Sinche on park get plunked to load the bases, and his dad feels the pain.
Well, at least he's going to first, but that's going to leave a bruise, and it's going to hurt tomorrow.
And then Sinche going high and tight for ball 2. Yikes. And as he's about to go for the next pitch, time is called. Curaçao's manager will bring Sinche a right-hander's glove. He's switching pitching hands.
Oh, my goodness. This is Pat Vendetti. He switches from left-handed to right-handed.
Ambidextrous. The manager and the umpire would have a conference not allow Sinche to switch hands mid-batter, so he's still pitching lefty. He walks in the first round of the game. How about when he goes righty? He strikes out Moo Sung Kim and Yoo Min Lee.
Well, the umpire made the right call on that. You're not allowed to do that, so it's good they corrected him, and it looks like he's got his command back from the right side.
And then Jae-Gong Kim, as South Korea leading it 2-0 after he hits him. The next batter is Won-tae Cho. Cho grounds out to the pitcher. A switch pitcher in Little League. You're right, Pat Vendetti is the only guy I can think of.
So he was born ambidextrous. There's no way he developed that at age 12.
Bottom of the third, 2 on, 1 out. South Korea still up 2. It's Junho Jeong in a jam. Strikes out Donovan Antonia, and Antonia can't believe it.
Well, I'm not sure I want any part of a 12-year-old slinging it from down there at a pretty high velocity.
Jeong striking out Hey Dion Marlene to escape the inning. Japan finished the game 10 strikeouts. As South Korea wins this game 3-0 is the final. South Korea improves to 12-0 all-time Little League World Series. They'll play Canada on Sunday at 5 o'clock Eastern. Curaçao falling to 0-5 against Asian countries in Little League World Series opening games. They'll play Japan on Saturday at 6 o'clock Eastern. Baseball tonight is presented by Heinz, the official ketchup and mustard of Little League, and in part by Verizon. Join a better network because better matters.
I always wanted to go to the Little League World Series in Williamsport, right? I lost twice. Profar beat me both times, Jonathan Scope.
Hi, my name is Jurickson Profar. Hi, my name is Jonathan Scope. My favorite baseball player is Eric Jeter.
That was kind of one of the toughest moments for me as a kid, not be able to reach there. Because I know if I had gotten there, I would probably say Andrew Jones is my favorite player at the time, or Derek Jeter, you know. So, I mean, it's definitely a nice feeling for some of the kids to say that I'm their favorite player.